Uno. Today, April 15th, 2026. Rest in peace to the artist known as Sinthoro. Uh, his career was short lived, unfortunately, and it's something I thought I need to talk about, especially when it comes to black men fathering someone else's child. And I learned I ran into Sinthoro's page and he did a reel. And the reel was from an old song. If you 40 and above, you know Sade. Uh, you gave me the kiss of life. So yeah, Sinthoro, he remixed the song, and what was wild about him doing that, he incorporated his own theatrics. The song was called We Gon' Slide. And even though, you know, it spoke of violence, like a lot of drill music, like a lot of young music from younger artists, which, gravitates to violence and whatnot. It's unfortunate that, violence was his demise, but in his own household. So apparently, Sinthero, the artist, he had a child on the way with a female, and I don't know if it was a project, tenement, housing complex, sort of the nature, but his baby mama apparently was pregnant and she had another teenage child from a previous relationship, and there was an argument about the child smoking weed or smoking in general in the building, and I guess the child got upset and Sinthero intervened politely. It wasn't anything disrespectful, but he told him, "Yo, man, you could go outside and whatnot, right?" Little did he know, the child went outside or whatever the case may be, and got a hold of a weapon, a gun, and later on shot the man Sinthero to his death. And a lot of times, you know, us black men, we gonna take what come with the territory, because if you like me, raised from a single parent household, and your mom or your dad wasn't getting along and they parted ways, and then eventually, you know, they're going to move on and seek a new situation, a new relationship, so they can move on with their lives and their future. Unfortunately, with a lot of us is we have a lot of baggage from our old relationships, meaning it could be a child, and you could be moving forward, but the child is kind of left behind, figuring out, well, where do I fit in at, and how important am I in my mom's life, yet alone society's life. So, with that being said, my condolences goes out to the brother. I don't know him, and you know, I believe Gat Murder from Brooklyn as well has a podcast where Sinthoro was interviewed, and I guess he was just starting to get some recognition and some light, and it seemed like as soon as you get on with trying to do something with yourself, here come the devil. And a lot of times we don't realize that the devil is really close by. As in example with Sinthoro, you know, his stepchild, who may not even wanted to recognize him as his stepfather, being young, reckless, naive. If you were 16 before and you coming from a single, household and whatnot, it's very difficult to accept a new man in your life. And a lot of us, you know, we just jump into a relationship. We don't really take time to actually think about, you know, the other kids' life, because we moving so fast and society says, guess what? You got to still keep on moving, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. And I go for the men and the women. And I just thought that, there's a lot of mental illness going on from past relationships, past trauma. And I don't know if the young man that allegedly, shot Sinthoro and whatnot, had some trauma with himself and his mom, and maybe even his dad going through. More than likely, that could have played, into the account, or it could have been a little bit extra and whatnot, because here it is, in Sinthoro's music video, he's talking about sliding, he's talking about, running into a beef and whatnot, and, him handling his business all over R&B, Sade, Kiss of Life beat, dancing, and he looked like he was enjoying himself with what he was doing. But that doesn't mean that those around you enjoying what you do. And the people closest to your circle, they will help hurt you, rather so speak. And again, it's an unfortunate matter, but you got to be mindful nowadays of your circle, who can potentially hurt you. And, you could be talking real positive, and you could be trying to steer someone in the right direction. But that don't mean that, your intentions, just because they were good, they will come into fruition. So with that being said, rest in peace to Sinthoro, man. I thought it was a tragic story of another aspiring artist or rapper or musician that, unfortunately fell to the demise of someone who he may even loved or took into account to love, and, it led to, his unfortunate demise, man. Anybody from New York, Brooklyn, in the comment section, or anyone who's aware of this story, hit me up in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about, the situation. Your boy Fly Money. Peace and love, y'all. I'm out.